Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about The Circle, Season 6, Episode 3.
Listen, we need you to subscribe, like, share, comment on the show. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Everyone is stressed about this AI twist. So Max messages Lauren. Max does that because he wants to strengthen his bond with Lauren, but he also wants to discuss other people so that way he can deflect from him being considered AI himself.
Okay.
Lauren thinks Paul is AI. Max responds that he thought Paul's rap was AI level good, but he also throws Steffi's name out there as well.
Yeah, we already on Steffi.
Lauren sees it as a possibility. Max puts it out there she might be an AI horoscope fortune teller type of thing. Paul messages Kyle again. Even before Kyle said, "What do you want to talk about now?" I was wondering, what do you want to say, Paul? You gotta spread it around. You can't be harassing the same folks. But Kyle is like, what does he want to talk about now? Are you AI? Paul asks Kyle, what's the play? Already trash. Already. If you're gonna talk to me and start a conversation, know what it is that you want to say. Don't be trying to suss me out.
That's true.
Like, come with some information or a game plan to help the both of us. Well, Kyle thinks Steffi is a possible AI. Kyle doesn't want Paul to think that he thinks Paul is the AI, but he's 50-50 on Paul. It could be either way.
Paul ain't playing a good strategy in my eyes.
Paul sees that Kyle isn't revealing much about himself. Now Paul is thinking Kyle might be AI.
Wow.
Kyle tries to connect over something human so that way he can kind of suss out Paul. And he tries to connect over LA and asks, which beach do you prefer, Venice or Manhattan? Kyle says if he's a single guy and he says Manhattan, you're not a rapper, you're AI, because I guess all the single young rappers go to Venice Beach.
Okay.
Paul is deciding to give a vague answer and says that he hikes. Why would you decide to do that?
That makes no sense.
I was very confused on why just throw a red herring in there. Like, why do that?
Yeah. Now
Kyle doesn't think Paul is from LA. Kyle ends the chat talking about getting the Steffi thing taken care of. Paul / Caress, I don't think she felt too good about how the chat went.
She shouldn't have. What was your thoughts?
My thoughts were just pretty much like I said, Paul, if you're going to start a conversation, don't be asking people what their game plan is. Come in with some initiation, some conversation, some charisma to get things going. But yeah, and then the fact that Kyle was trying to connect over something human, something relatable. I was kind of surprised that Caress didn't pick up on that. You know, that was Kyle's effort of trying to figure out what's real. Yeah. So I think the Caress is just not doing that great.
Yeah. I think the reason why I think things are starting to heat up is because people are distracted by the AI. Y'all trying to figure out who the AI is. Hey guys, there's still catfish on the show. Yeah. And so even though this person may not be an AI, this person still may not be who they say they are. So I think the AI is a good twist, but I wouldn't have thought much of it because in my head I'm like, I can't defeat AI anyway. But I have a better chance of figuring out who a catfish is than I do a AI.
But see, for me, my focus would still be AI because whether or not a person says who they say they are, I would rather a person get the money than where's the money going to go if AI wins.
I understand that.
So
I understand that.
Yeah, I would say we all need to band together to get the computer out first.
Yeah, and I think when I hear in people conversations turned into, I don't think Paul is who he say he is, or I don't think Kyle is who he say he is, and the conversations is strictly, this person's human, this person's not. This person's human, this person's not. So I understand that we have to ban against the machine, but I feel like it's too early. Okay. I still would have stayed on my plan of who is the catfish, because at the end of the day, AI is lying just as if the person is like the same way as Brandon Olivia is lying, the same way as Paul is lying. So based off of Paul interaction with Kyle, I would have been like, I'm just like Kyle. I probably would have ended the chat immediately. You get what I'm saying? And just made them feel uncomfortable. The minute that they would have gave an answer that I know is not that is on par with the conversation, like I like the hike, I just would have ended the chat and just made them sweat. Yeah. Because it's really a game of like in your mind of, did I say the right thing? Or like, should I say something now? I just will let them sweat.
Well, Miles messages QT.
Uh-huh.
Miles says, "Good morning, gorgeous," and tells her that he enjoyed her rap. QT says that she's still looking for her number one.
Okay.
Miles says the bros are together, but he doesn't have a number one. He would want to take her out to dinner after this.
Oh, okay. So he's playing a different game.
QT reveals that she is connecting with the girls, but they end the chat in a good way with a new alliance being formed.
Okay.
Alert. Today they have the opportunity to prove their humanity. They have to vote for the player they believe is the most human. The winner will block the person who they believe is the least human.
Okay.
The circle asks 3 questions that they think only humans can answer. Humor test 1 is, can you tell a joke? Okay. Everyone takes turns telling their joke. Steffi's joke is a knock-knock joke, saying Britney Spears, who's there? Oops, I did it again. People were not feeling that.
You would have thought she's human, though? Because to me, that sounds like Siri to me.
Yeah, I probably would have thought she was AI off of that because it didn't make a whole lot of sense.
It made sense, but it like if you have an iPhone and if you ask Siri to tell you the joke, that's the type of joke Siri be saying. Like, knock, knock, who's there? Knock, knock. And then that's when you be like, oops, I did it again. And so it's like, okay, that sounds very Siri-like, very AI-like. You get what I'm saying?
Folks are thinking that she's AI. Lauren doesn't think it's AI. She just thinks it's somebody being dumb.
Okay. Well, okay.
Max says, want to hear a funny joke? And then he says, my dating life. He says it makes him seem vulnerable and not so robotic.
Okay.
Empathy test. How does the woman on the right feel? And there's a picture of a girl seeing her guy checking another woman out. And Steffi says subconscious wounding. Folks don't really know what that means.
Okay.
Max says that she's feeling like she's about to re-download the dating apps. Brandon doesn't think that response was empathetic, and that could be AI.
Okay.
Paul says like how Miles' girlfriend was feeling when he messaged QT. Critical thinking test. How should he solve the problem? On an airplane, a child with their feet on the back of a man's seat. Max says switch seats. Brandon doesn't think it's a human response. Paul isn't thinking it's a very human response either. Paul says ask the flight attendant to do her job, like avoiding a private chat with Steffi and voicing the concerns to the circle.
Okay.
Trying to throw shots back at Steffi in the public arena.
I'm about to say, like, you got the rap beef over here, and then you got them throwing shots at each other. Okay.
Lauren felt it was too creative, and it might be AI. Miles says you have to take the high road with the kid, shots at Paul, and he'd want to set next to QT. Kyle messages Miles.
Okay.
On Miles' profile, he is an AI engineer, so Kyle wants to know if there's any way that they may be able to figure out who the AI is.
Interesting.
Kyle doesn't agree with what Paul did as far as the girlfriend comment. He tells Miles that he has his back.
Okay.
Miles says that he's in his corner and only humans have loyalty. Kyle has some suspicions about Steffi and Cassie. Miles thinks Steffi is sus as well.
I'm about to say Cassie to be minding her country business.
But after the game, do you think that they should have been swayed towards Steffi or Max? I feel like those are the top 2 contenders. Well, not Max, but Steffi or Paul.
Swayed such as what?
As far as thinking who might be the AI based off their responses. I feel like Steffi's responses were very generic, and I can see why people were leaning towards her.
See, think about Steffi. It goes with her personality. It goes with her personality in the sense of horoscopes and things of that nature. Yeah. Just like fake deepness. So I wouldn't have thought that she was AI, to be honest. I just would have thought that she just like the weird girl that like horoscopes. With Paul, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Would you be swayed?
I probably would have been swayed by Steffi because it just seemed not creative enough, I guess. And I would think going into it that a computer would probably have like a set, maybe a few things that it can talk about. And I could see why people would say that maybe Steffi was AI because they kind of stick to this one script in a way, where other people are able, like Paul was throwing shots and all this type of stuff. And I don't know if people know how advanced AI is to be able to go out on a limb and say all these different things. But apparently AI is very advanced. Exactly. But going into it, I would not have thought AI was that advanced. Lauren messages QT and asks how she's feeling about the AI situation. QT thinks Steffi has been glitching. Lauren shares her gut has been telling her Paul. QT thinks Paul just doesn't understand the game.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think Paul, Catfish Paul, I forgot her name.
Correct.
I don't think she understands how to play a guy. She might understand the game, but she don't understand how to play a guy. She just chose her younger brother just so she could have a guy to play. And I'm like, you probably would have did better playing yourself. Right. I think everybody would have did better playing themselves, but that's just my opinion.
Lauren adds Paul to the group chat and asks how he's feeling about the AI thing to try to get down to business. Paul thinks Steffi is saying generic and inconsistent things.
Okay.
QT didn't like what Steffi said in the rap battle and knew it had to be her. Lauren shares she has been suspicious of Paul. Now she's seeing people think it's Steffi, and she might have been fooled. We get another alert.
Well, Lauren, you're fooled because your number one connection and the person that you think is human is the AI.
Exactly.
So, like, you're all the way fooled. You all the way out the game.
Right. We get another alert. Players now have to vote on who they believe is most human, and everyone casts their votes. Steffi sends a message to Miles. She thinks that he is a real human. Miles asks why she thinks Paul is AI. She's stressing over explaining why she thinks it's Paul because to her it was like a psychic hit and also of his potential popularity within the group. So it's a strategic thing as well.
So basically she's saying I have powers.
Yes.
And my powers is telling me it's Paul.
Yes.
You about to put all the psychics out of business.
Okay.
Because Paul is not AI.
Right.
So,
but Paul is a catfish.
But it's not AI.
Correct.
You get what I'm saying? He's not who he say he is.
And I think that's what she's picking up on.
Right? And maybe. But I'm like, hey, your powers may need to work on it just a little bit more. So it can show you a little more clearer. You ain't got the 20/20 vision. You get what I'm saying? It's still a little blurry.
She says Paul describing himself as a hype man and handsome didn't really match his vibe. Miles is like, he's a rapper. Like, they're supposed to say that. They're supposed to think that way about themselves.
Of course.
He thinks it's right on brand. Miles feels that she is giving him nothing. He shares he's available to chat whenever she wants, and he skedaddles up out of the chat.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Cassie messages Lauren and asks how she's feeling about the most human ratings. Lauren tells her she thinks it's Paul. Cassie thinks it's Steffi. Paul messages Max and asks how he's feeling about the twists and turns. Max says the last game was a head scratcher and asks about Paul. Paul asks who he's getting AI vibes from. Max says Steffi because of her generic horoscope advice. Paul is on the same page.
Yeah.
AI says his human imitation strategy was successful.
Okay, thank you. I would have figured you out, Max.
The ratings are in. The winner has to block who they believe is the least human tomorrow. And are we going to reveal who the winner is, or we're going to leave it for next episode?
Reveal it now.
The winner was Miles. So we'll look to see what Miles decided to do during his reign. Next episode.
Was this the episode or was it the next episode where Steffi was crying?
Next episode.
That was the next episode. I was thinking next episode as give y'all a preview of next episode. I was like, why are you crying when you're the one who chose to go at Paul?
Yeah, you started it.
I'm about to say, like, I don't understand why you feel what you feel when you was the one who threw the shot at Paul and Paul just responded. Right? And you got your powers. You talk about how I think she said her dead aunt be helping her through the game and things like that. She said in the first episode, in the first meetup. So I'm like, hey, you started this. This ain't the time for tears. Listen here, the same way as we told Brandon, Olivia, don't be crying and things like that. You should came and ask yourself if you feel like you can't play Olivia good. The same way, Steffi, you shouldn't be crying. Put your big girl pants on because you threw a shot at Paul.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Anything else you want to share on this episode?
That's all I got.
Listen here. Make sure y'all come back. We will release episode 4 tomorrow. Look out for that tomorrow. As well as I think the new episodes come out Wednesday. I think they release it 4 at a time or maybe 2 at a time. We will get the rest of those episodes throughout the week. Anything else?
That's all.
Y'all be good.
Bye.